everyone, myself Alisha Bawa, and my today's topic of discussion is Article 356 and its misuse in India. So let us discuss about what is this Article 356. Article 356 is one of the articles among the emergency provisions of the Indian Constitution. It is an article in Part 18 of the Constitution. Article 356 of the Constitution says if the President or the receipt of a report from the governor or state or otherwise is satisfied that a situation has arisen in which the government of state cannot be carried out. In such provisions, the President may by proclamation declare that the powers of the legislature of the state shall be exercisable or under the authority of the Parliament. Secondly, assume to himself all or any of the functions of the government of the state, all or any of the powers vested in or exercisable by the governor. Thirdly, make such incidental and consequential provisions as appear to the President to be necessary or desirable for giving effect to the objects of the proclamation. Like ordinances, the constitution makers intended for Article 356 to be used only as an emergency provision. During Constituent Assembly debates, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar made clear that whether there is a good government or not in the province is not for the centre to determine it, adding that he hoped that Article 356 would remain a dead letter. Now let us discuss how this Article 356 is being misused in India. A cursory glance at the data shows that this has been far from the truth. Sarkaria Commission notes that since independence it has been used over 100 times. 1970s and 80s will be remembered for the most spiteful use of Article 356. From the year 1971 to 1984, it was used 59 times, with maximum used in the period of 1977 to 1979, during which Morai Desai government ruled. Now, it was used by the post-emergency central government as Vedanta against Congress-ruled state governments. Later, Indira Gandhi returned the favor by storming back to power in 1980, and during the period of 1980 to 1984, it was used 17 times. Now, though Article 356 had been used even by Jawaharlal Nehru to dismiss the majority communist government of Kerala, Indira Gandhi is synonymous with having used it as a weapon against state governments. In fact, Indira Gandhi during emergency closed judicial review of even the presidential order clamping Article 356 through the 38th Constitutional Amendment. However, thanks to the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act brought forth in 1978 by Morarji Desai, the original Article 356 as envisaged by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was restored. Now, Manipur has seen the most frequent application of Article 356. The deeply fragmented internal policies of the state, as well as long periods of violence, have often enabled the union government to impose its fiat on the state. Besides Manipur, the politically crucial states of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, with their fragmented polity, have been on the centre's radar for long. Now let us see the rise of the regional parties. When and how did these regional parties arise? The mid-1990s witnessed fundamental change in the nature of union governments. Before this period, even when coalition governments took power in Delhi, only a few national parties came to dominate the government. The mid-1990s, by the rise of regional parties that lent an increasingly opportunistic and volatile character to Indian polity. This meant that the national parties were always on the lookout for a new regional allies and hence were wary of using Article 356 against their governments. Besides having had the direct political impact, the rise of regional parties also rejuvenated other institutional safeguards, the courts and the president, against arbitrary imposition of Article 356. Now let us go through the Supreme Court intervention in this Article 356. In 1994, the Supreme Court delivered the landmark B.R. Bommai judgment, where the court discussed at length provisions of Article 356 and related issues. This case had huge impact on center-state relations. The misuse of Article 356 was stopped after this judgment. In the Bommai case, the apex court cited the strengthening of regional parties to posit that it was no longer the prerogative of union government to determine the quality of governance in states. And the dismissal of a state government run by a different party was bound to raise eyebrows. Now, let us discuss what were the guidelines laid down by the Supreme Court. In this said case, the Supreme Court laid down certain guidelines so as to prevent the misuse of Article 356 of the Indian Constitution. Here, many of them are as follows. The majority enjoyed by the Council of Ministers shall be tested on the floor of the House. Secondly, Centre should be given a warning to the state and a time period of 1 week to reply. Third, the court cannot question the advice tendered by the Council of Ministers to the President, but it can question the material behind the satisfaction of the President. Hence, judicial review will involve 3 questions only. First, is there any material behind the proclamation? Second, is the material relevant? Third, was there any malified use of power? Next being, if there is improper use of Article 356, then the court will provide the remedy. Then under Article 356 Clause 3, it is the limitation on the powers of President. Hence, the President shall not take irreversible action until the proclamation is approved by the Parliament. That is, he shall not dissolve the Assembly. Then being Article 356 is justified only when there is a breakdown of constitutional machinery and not administrative machinery. And the last one being Article 356 shall be used sparingly by the centre. Otherwise, it is likely to destroy the constitutional structure between the state as well as the centre. So this was all about Article 356 and its misuse in India, and what was the verdict of Supreme Court regarding this misuse. Thank you.